You know, we used to live in a society where people, you know, you had your outside behavior and your inside behavior. You know, your inside behavior where around your table you would use the N word and the spick word and the, you know, all the other pejoratives for other people, you know, that didn't look like you. You'd have a name for them. And then out in public, you would, you know, you'd put on your suit and tie and your heels and your stockings and your slip, and you would, you know, smile and pretend that you actually gave a damn about another human being who didn't come from your tribe. You would at least pretend. People are not pretending anymore. And some of y'all's feelings are hurt. My feelings not hurt. I actually did not expect Cameron to indict anybody. I was surprised that anyone got indicted. I am not surprised that the murder of Breonna Taylor in her own home, in the sanctity of her own home, will not bring justice on any level. There's no justice. $12 million is not going to bring this woman back. But more importantly, Breonna Taylor in and of herself is symbolic. She's a symbol, much the way Mike Brown is a symbol, and Eric Gardner and Tamir Rice and Trayvon Martin, Sandra Bland. These are symbols. These are human beings who I don't want to go so far as to say are martyred, because nobody signs up to be killed. I'm sure Breonna Taylor getting up, that essential worker, that EMT, that person whose life was devoted to helping other people, I'm sure she didn't say when she went to bed that night that I won't get up the next day. I'm sure that wasn't even in her mind on any level, that she would not see the next day. So she's symbolic in the sense that could be anybody listening to my voice who has melanin. Because those of you who don't probably can't imagine being pulled over for failing the signal and not going home. Like, you can't imagine being pulled over for failing the signal and not going home. You can't imagine sending your 12-year-old out to play in a park with a toy gun and he not make it home. You can't imagine sending your son or having your son go to the store to buy something to drink and some Skittles and not make it home. And the only crime? Being Black in America. Now, I don't know what to say about it because there's no solution, right? And a lot of people are upset, they're angry, they're outraged, there's a lot of emotions, a lot of feelings. And all of those feelings are valid and they're real. But I have to ask this question, what are we going to do about it? What are you prepared to do? 866-801-8255. Now, I took the liberty, for me, I'm always going to be solutions oriented. So I was thinking about Daniel Cameron, who waited all of these many weeks to decide to do nothing, basically. Daniel Cameron, the protege of Mitch McConnell. Daniel Cameron, who was endorsed by Donald J. Trump. Daniel Cameron, endorsed by Donald J. Trump. Daniel Cameron, also endorsed by the Kentucky Fraternal Order of Police. Who does he work for? Who does he work for? Who does he have an allegiance to? Are you surprised, really? Are you surprised, really? Well, here's the other side of this. Daniel Cameron was elected in November of 2019. He ran, of course, as a Republican in his primary. He beat out his incumbent. He received 132,400 votes in the primary, which was in May of 2019 against Will Schroeder. In the general election, he ran against Gregory Stumbo in November 2019. He received 832,346 votes. His opponent got 200,000 less votes, actually 230,000 less votes than he received. But what's interesting about Kentucky, aside from it being one of the dumbest states in our union, one of the poorest states in our union, those are facts, you can look it up. Dumb meaning education, bottom 5. Poverty, bottom 5. Definitely bottom 5. As you look at Kentucky has more than 3 million eligible voters. 3 million eligible voters. 3 million. I'll say it again. 3 million. 48% of them are Democrats or registered as Democrats. 43% are registered as Republicans. 9% are unaffiliated. Why did Daniel Cameron win? Well, if I'm looking at the numbers, 3 million eligible voters, 832 voted for Cameron, 602,000 voted for stumble. That's not even 1 point. That's about 1.43 million, which leaves about 1.6 million that didn't vote. Most of them are what? Democrats. Now, I'm not saying Democrats have all of the answers. I'm not saying that they are the second coming of anything. I'm not saying that they're right. What I'm saying is that people didn't vote. So not only did you not have a voice, and the reason why Cameron was even in this position in the first place is because half of y'all didn't vote, more than half. But then, did you even put up a candidate? Was there even anybody in your community that you could have gotten behind? Like, and now is the time to have that conversation. Not after, not the months leading up to election. All of you pissed off about Biden and Harris. Where were you in 2016? Where were you then? Oh, I hate all this. I'm never going to vote for it. Yeah, but you didn't do anything to press the electoral college to get rid of that. You didn't put up a candidate. You weren't behind anybody that could have run in 2020 that you actually cared about. You didn't mount any campaigns. Did you donate to any campaigns? Or did you fold your arms and bitch and complain? Because now is not that time. I'm going to tell you, that's getting you nowhere because they don't care. They don't care about your pain. They don't care about your slogans. They don't care about your Black Lives Matter. Definitely not that. They don't care about your marching. They don't care. And when what's his name, Romney? When Romney showed his ugly ass this week on the heels of the death of the notorious Ruth Bader Ginsburg, when he said, well, you know, if a vote comes down, I'm going to make the vote. I was like, aha, yeah, see, they understand one thing that a lot of us don't. By any means necessary. And those words actually should be poignant. By any means necessary. They are operating under by any means necessary. You are not. And we must, because it's clear to me that too many of us were raised with this Pollyanna view that, you know, ultimately right will win out. You know, good will conquer evil. We've heard this. You know, people, better angels, and folks will do what's right. Ultimately, they'll do what's right. No, they won't. They have never demonstrated that they will, and I don't know what insanity will allow you to believe otherwise. So the question on the table is, what are you going to do about it? 866-801-8255. You're going to sit at home in November because it doesn't matter? Well, it does matter. Because if 1 million people showed up in Kentucky that were eligible to vote, Daniel Cameron wouldn't be in a position to determine whether or not Breonna Taylor gets justice. And I say this on the heels of 2 police officers in Louisville being shot last night. This is craziness. And this is not going to end well. Not at all, as tanks start to drive down streets. As this president has the license to order a National Guard into your state at any time, declare your state to be an enemy of the state. Yes, and he's pretty much identified several states, several cities that he plans to deploy troops, National Guard, etc. Like, what are you going to do? I know I'm showing up in November in person. I was going to mail in my ballot, and I'm in a state that I think we're going to be okay in terms of which way we vote. I live in New Jersey. I think Jersey's pretty much done the right thing. But I'm still going to show up because showing up is half the battle. I tell my students this all the time. To not show up is just, it's unacceptable. But showing up is half, it's not even half. It's just a third, maybe a fourth of it, but you got to show up. And many of us do not show up. We don't show up for ourselves. But this is not even about ourselves. This is about being selfless at this point, but more community, understanding that we live in a community that we have to show up for one another. So there's that. And, you know, I do want to send out, and this is the complicated thing, because I need to have compassion for people who put their lives on the line every day. And I'm talking about police officers who go out without, you know, knowing whether or not they'll come home, but they signed up for that. You know, that's part of the, you know I'm signing up as a police officer. I'm going to put myself in harm's way. It's not the same. These things are not equal. So you should be held doubly accountable when you breach the moral contract. At the same time, we need to have the capacity to have feelings for people who are shot in the line of duty. So I'm going to do that today because I'm a human being. I cannot forsake my humanity for anybody. You're not going to do that to me. I'm not going to not be a human being because you are not. So I'm going to say, did they get murdered? No, they did not. Okay, so I just need to be clear about the facts here. Police officers were shot at 8:30 p.m. near First Street and Broadway, where a crowd of protesters were out last night protesting, of course, this weird indictment of one officer. And the weird thing about that, like one of the charges claimed that the officer's bullets or something had penetrated some other apartment that belonged to white people. Like that was egregious. But Breonna Taylor's Black life, like they took her life. That was not problematic. The bullets that penetrated innocent, like she was innocent. She didn't have a gun and she wasn't the person you were looking for. Anyway, one officer was being alerted. He's in stable condition, one that was shot. The other officer was in surgery at the time that I pulled the story. He's also in stable condition. But yeah, we have a tinderbox, and this only serves one type of vibration and one type of energy. And Trump is at the helm of that. He likes this chaos. He likes this disorder, so that he could talk about law and order and restoring it. But you're the cause. You're the cause. You're the reason why this nation right now is on fire. I'm going to say it, getting us out, not caring about climate, as California is literally smoking and firing. Racially, it's you, Trump, it's you. And you're symptomatic, but you are fanning the flames and pissing gasoline on it every single day. Then had the nerve to show up for Ruth Bader Ginsburg today and got booed. But what does that do? What does that do? I don't know. We boo him, so what? He could give a damn. He could give a damn. And I think that's the thing that is hard for a lot of us, that many of us who have a heart, that are human beings that care deeply for others. It's hard to fathom that there are people that don't give a damn, that 200,000+ Americans are dead because of incompetence, that so many Americans are suffering today. I think there's the 870,000 people filed for unemployment for the first time last week. 870,000, nearly 1 million Americans who were never unemployed, who never had unemployment benefits filed for the first time last week. This is a problem. This is a problem. I see this down the line being a real severe problem. I'm seeing people who made 6 figures not being able to have jobs. These jobs are not coming back. People who are comfortable, no longer comfortable. People who are on a pathway, a trajectory to retire early, don't even know if they're going to even be able to do that. This is a problem. And our leadership doesn't care. There's no stimulus package. I mean, it's tough. It's tough. And I don't, I've tweeted this out. I don't have any solutions. I don't really know what the answers are. I know that doubling down our community and coming together and really being there for one another is super important, that we have to model the community that we want to see. We got to build the world that we want to live in, one street at a time if we have to, one house at a time if we have to, form neighborhood watches and, just really double down on one another, supporting one another. Today, I'm going to, of course, have Buy from a Black Woman on later on in the show, because we have to be the economy. I'm also reading a story that says that if America wasn't so damn racist, it would be so much wealthier. It would be far more wealthy. I'm going to talk about that today. As Wells Fargo says, we can't find competent people. No, I'm sorry, I didn't really mean that. Yeah, you did. You did. You want to know why I know Wells Fargo meant that? Because Wells Fargo was one of the main banks that destroyed our wealth during the subprime lending debacle. That bank got fined, but did not put the money back in. So how many of you still have bank accounts there? And I'm not saying you should boycott. I'm just asking the question. How many of you still have money parked in a bank that could give a damn about you, your wealth, your family, your legacy, or you personally? Because they don't believe that there are any Black people that are out there that can work there. It's a limited pool of Black talent. Are you kidding me? Why are y'all surprised?